Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Watch Takes here on Watches with Oliver. It is 2024, so Happy New Year. Hope you all had great New Year's celebrations and are ready to tackle in this new year. So let's talk about Bulova because that's the watch we'll be reviewing today. So last year, Bulova released a flurry of watches, right? They had the lunar pilots in two different configurations in its almost original 43.5 millimeter case. Then they released the Jetstar lineup also. And then on the later half of the year, they released another watch, which we'll be talking about today. But before we get into it, let's just go ahead and do a wrist check. I've got my what I call Caravelle field watch right here. It's ion plated in this gunmetal color case. Honestly, it's my first watch that I've had that has this gunmetal plating on it. On this leather strap, it has an olive green dial, an orange secondhand date and day, and it has also a special feature that makes it really visible at night. It's a really big bang for your buck here. I'll be reviewing this watch later on. So let's go ahead inside my Devil Diver picture and see which watch I'll be reviewing today from Bulova. And it looks like it is the Oceanographer GMT Root Beer in rose gold right here. So of course, in the later half of the year, Bulova released the Oceanographer GMT lineup in 3 different variations, one steel, one gunmetal, and this other one in rose gold for the US market. Now they do have another gunmetal version with a green dial, but that was released more internationally. So we'll be definitely taking a look at this watch more in depth. We'll be opening it up, talking about it, and I'll also be showcasing how to use the 24-hour time bezel here, because this is the first oceanographer to have the GMT movement in here. So we'll be taking a look at that and of course talking about it. And because I dunked it in my Devil Diver picture, it is also rated to 666 feet or 200 meters. So without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at this watch more in depth. So here it is, the Bulova Oceanographer GMT Automatic Snorkel. As you can see, it is a very stunning watch. It's ion plated in rose gold, and so it's not electroplated. If you guys don't know the difference, electroplating was done in the early 70s and 80s, and that was one way of plating the gold, but it didn't really last very long. But now supposedly we have ion plating, and this is much more superior to the usual electroplated gold. So let's just go ahead and get some specs out of the way. It's a 41 millimeter watch. The lugs measure at 20 millimeters. The height is 14.8 millimeters, and the lug to lug distance is a 45.1 millimeter. The watch will wear a little bit bigger than 45.1 only because the links right here, the end links, are male, so they will hang out a little bit further than a female end link, but nevertheless it's still a compact size. It's perfect for my wrist and it wears very comfortable as well. So it does have a sapphire glass. I believe the inside is AR coated, but the outside is not. It is a boxed sapphire crystal, which gives off that vintage feel, as you can see, so it slightly protrudes off of the bezel. The crown is screw down, and it does have the Bulova logo on it right there. The bezel right here is a day and night bezel, so as you can see, the night is black and the daytime is this brown color, and it rotates in 24-hour clicks, and it's bidirectional, so it rotates in both ways. The bezel is fairly firm. The clicks are very reassuring. You really do have to grab it and use a little bit of force. This might get easier over time, but the bezel is really solid and locks into place. The bezel is coin edged, as you can see here, which is nice to grab onto. And the bezel, like the other Oceanographer reissues, it is mineral glass coated, I believe, on the outside, so it protects it from any scratches or any wear and tear on that. One fun fact about the bezel for this, that it is fully lumed, and it is nice, but in reality, when it gets really dark, the numbers are a little bit illegible. But I mean, nevertheless, it's nice to have. As you can see in the Oceanographer Snorkel watches, they have these very unique jewel set hour markers, as I call them. They do glow in the dark. They've got these big hands here as well that also glow in the dark. And again, another feature of the Oceanographer GMT is that 24-hour hand right there. So the movement is a Miyota 9075, which we'll be opening it up and taking a look at it some more. But this is what they call a true GMT traveler's movement. So basically, the hour hand is able to jump. So how to set this, right? So basically, you set your, what I like to do, I like to set my reference time on the 24-hour hand, and then your hour hand, your normal hour hand, is going to be your local time. So basically right now I have it set to 11 o'clock or 10 o'clock Pacific Coast, Pacific time right here, as you can see. And my local time also corresponds to 10 o'clock as well. Now, when you're traveling, when you're going all over the place, your 24-hour hand is going to stay the same, but then you can change your hour hand to your local time that you're at. So basically, if I'm right here on the West Coast for Pacific time and I travel to the East Coast, let's just say to Florida, to New York, I can jump the hour hand in hour increments. So basically, East Coast is 3 hours ahead, so 1, 2, and 3. So now, when I'm in New York or Miami, the time is now set to the time where I'm currently at, while the 24-hour hand will still reference my home time of what time it is over there. Now, if I wanted to find out what time it was in another country, you could also use this third hour bezel, or 24-hour bezel for a third time zone. You just have to adjust it. So basically, if I'm going for the Philippines, it's +8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And now I can see what time it is in the Philippines while keeping my reference time, or my home time, steady. Crown is screwed down, as you can see, and the bracelet is really nice. It is a quick release, so there's these 2 prongs right there in which you can quickly release the band, and this clasp is not that stamped sheet metal, but it is more of a higher quality clasp, as you can see here, and so is this diver's extension. So no more sheet metal, but then again, in my other video, like I said, the sheet metal, I'm sure it's fine, and it could outlive most of us. So it is a fingerprint magnet, so just be warned of that, because it is fully polished and it is rose gold, so it even shows more than the silver stainless steel counterpart. The end links are 5-piece design, and the center end links are brushed, while the outer end links are polished. Stamped Bulova clasp right there, and there's also a flip clasp to lock it into place. On the back, it does have the usual inscription: Bulova sapphire crystal, stainless steel, serial numbers, water resistant 200 meters, and the model number as well. This is model number 97B215. Alright, so here it is without the case back, featuring the Miyota 9075 movement. It is a 28,800 BPH movement. It has 24 joules. It does have hacking, and this also features 24-hour settings with the jump hour hand. This movement is typically found in a lot of other microbands as well. It's pretty reliable and it seems to be robust. It is a unidirectional unit, so it only winds up in one direction. The rotor noise is not that loud, however it is noticeable sometimes. It's not as loud as the Miyota 8000 movements, but it is still audible, so just something to note as well. It is decorated nicely, as you can see here. It's not too fancy, but I'm sure it's pretty easy to service. It does have a 40-hour power reserve, but compared with the Citizen movement with their GMTs, which is also based on the Miyota 9000 series, it does offer a 50-hour power reserve and it has higher anti-magnetism, but that would be the only difference. But in here on the Oceanographer GMT, this movement is also shared with the Bulova Wilton GMT, which is also beating at 28,800 bph and also shares the same Miyota 9075 movement. So here I am shining my UV light onto it, and there it is. As you can see, that bezel is loomed. All the hands are also loomed. Realistically though, at night you can't really read the bezel, but the pips for the hour markers, the hands are completely legible, and they have a steady glow throughout the night. Again, I'm not sure what lume this is, whether it's BGW9 or Super Luminova. However, it does stay loomed throughout the night and is really visible. For the 24-hour bezel, unfortunately, like I said, it's nice a little bit because it is loomed and you could kind of read it, but after long periods of time in the dark, it's somewhat illegible to read, and it doesn't glow as clearly. Could be my eyesight, I'm not sure, but likewise, it's still cool though to see that Bulova did loom the bezel here. Guys, so what did I think about this watch? I think it is a great addition to any collection, and it doesn't hit the bank, right? So it's a true GMT. It has the quality, the movement of what you'd expect from Bulova, and I mean, look at this. It is just a beautiful watch in rose gold. Now, again, there's other versions of this watch. There is this one, rose gold, reference number 97B215. There's also a stainless steel one in blue bezel and blue dial, which I have not seen in person yet. And then they have the ion plated gunmetal, what we call black and white Stormtrooper one, which I did a review on as one of my first episodes here on Watch Takes. And they also have a green one as well. The green and the black and white one both have timing bezels, while these other ones have full 24-hour bezels. The 24-hour track on those ones are actually on the dial itself on the inside. But yeah, no, I think this is a fantastic watch. I love wearing this. I've gotten a lot more compliments on this watch than I have on any other watch, even my Rolex, which is funny. But you know what? This rose gold is just beautiful in daylight, root beer. I mean, come on, it's super noticeable. It has the vintage feel of it, and it has the quality and durability you'd expect from Bulova. So it's definitely a keeper in my collection, and hopefully, you know, it can be also a keeper in your collection to add to, you know, your guys's watch collection. Alright guys, so that completes my review of my Bulova Oceanographer GMT. So what do you guys think about the watch? Do you like the watch? Do you not like the watch? Or was there something that you wished you had seen in the watch? Let me know in your comments below. Thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode.